We talk about mindfulness here. Mindfulness, as I said, it has to be heightenedly aware of what you are doing in the present moment. Not just ordinary awareness like what we have at home. You have to make the effort to make the mind alert to know what is going through, what you're going on, what that you're doing in the present state of mind. Without that present state of mind, without that heightened awareness, all our meditation, all forms of meditation in Buddhism, you will not progress, or you will be diverted into all kinds of wrong form of meditation, and you don't even realize it. So this is a crucial factor to understand the mindfulness. Not understand by theory, but understand by truly aware of it, that when it's there, you know it's there. When it's not there, you know it's not there. Not all the tons of theory that you may have, that I'm not too interested. You want to have all this theory, nowadays you don't have to read the books. All you need to do is go to the AI. They'll tell you all about mindfulness. The AI can do even more than what you can read in the books. You want the theory, you go towards that. But theory is not going to give you anything. It gives you some degree of mental satisfaction only. But when you actually do it, you don't even know what is mindfulness. Yeah. So you make sure you know what is mindfulness in the heart, not in the theory aspect of it, not in the thinking part of it. Learn to feel it. Learn to feel them. So it is that presentness of mind, that heightened awareness, that the mind is not in a superficial state, not in the everyday state of mind. In other words, when you come here, when you meditate, when you walk, you pay attention to your objects thoroughly, clearly, what is going on there. In other retreats, perhaps you have gone, sometimes you just sit there, just be aware. You can walk here and there as you like. You feel good. This is not the type of mindfulness we are looking for. If you want to come for that retreat, very relaxing, yes. You don't have all the schedule. You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. You can do whatever you want. But then you are not going to go anywhere further. During in the time of the Buddha, monks are trained throughout the day. They have to go out for the alms round. Even when they go out for the alms round, they are mindful. Here, some of you are walking from here to the toilet. I already seen some of you. You're just looking here, looking there, and you walk as if like you're at home. No. You have to be mindful even you walk from here to the toilet and back. So, this is training. This is training to put your mind, to put your alertness into what is going on in the present moment. So, eating time, at least now, at least today, I see most of you are eating more slower. Slower is one thing, but I cannot know what you're going on with your mind. But at least it's a good sign. At least it's a good sign. Yeah, eating is slower. So make sure that you being aware of, you be fully aware of what you are noticing, the biting, the chewing, the swallowing. You do this throughout the retreat. You'll find that you will appreciate the time of being in the present while you're having your lunch or having your meals. It actually is healthier compared to when we rush and just want to gulp everything down into the stomach. Yeah. So this is something. And also I mentioned that to understand the nature of mindfulness, to able to appreciate the nature of mindfulness or the characteristic of the mindfulness, that you have to know them when they are there, when they are not there. And as I said, also for those who are beginner, it is good that you ask yourself every now and then, am I being present here? Am I being alert here? Or is my mind in the state of running here and there? So you have to ask yourself, you have to bring the mind, you have to rein it back. You know, it's like the cattle or the goats and the sheep is all running everywhere. So you must have the shepherd dog. Have you seen that? They'll run the whole thing and then they'll round all the cattle back into its pen or whatever it is, or whatever their area, so that they don't run everywhere. So the mindfulness is like a shepherd dog. So you make sure you bring everything inside there. Stay. Yeah. So this is one thing. So understand to truly to know them. And the next thing also about that mindfulness, as I mentioned, you have to know the condition, how this mindfulness arises. You have to know exactly what to do in order for the mindfulness to arise. And yesterday I said that the word is predominancy. Predominancy of the object. That means the object has to be clear to you at that moment of time, at that present time. For example, the walking, it is clear. While you are doing the walking, you pay attention to the lifting, pushing, dropping. Although there are other parts of the body are also clear, but they are not as clear as the movement. Unless the other parts of the body becomes clearer than the movement, then you pay attention to the other parts of the body. Yeah. Also, like for example, when you are sitting down, rising, falling, you notice this rising and falling as your primary object, but then there are at times itchiness may arise. If the itchiness is stronger than the rising and falling, your job is to pay attention to the itchiness as clear as possible. So it's about taking up that clear object. If you don't take up clear object, if all other objects are obscure, not clear, faint, you put those objects aside and you'll search for something that is clear and clear to you. Then only the mindfulness will come in. So this is something that we have to remember. Sometimes as you progress, once in a while, sometimes there are yogis. I notice that even the object becomes so faint, nothing, but they just stay there. You stay there for longer, your mindfulness, your meditation, your vipassana practice is going to go out. Because there's nothing much for you to see. But it's pleasant, it's nice, it's wonderful, but there's something wrong already. Usually, most of the time, objects of the vipassana supposed to be clear, not faint, not obscure. If something is obscure, that means something is not right in the vipassana. So this is something that we talked about yesterday. To understand the nature of mindfulness and to able to arouse it. But with that mindfulness alone, it hasn't turned itself into vipassana yet. It needs another factor for that vipassana to arise. The other factor, it's the precision factor or the thoroughness. Other words, if you are in the suttas or especially in the Abhidhamma, the word is panya or wisdom factor of the mind. The mind that can actually able to discern. It can able to discern in a sense that it can able to segregate, discern, it can discriminate all the objects as they really are. Not as just as one, but as they really are. That is to say, your mind is being thorough, being penetrative. What you know as one thing every day, you know is one thing, but when you come into vipassana, you begin to see that it is not one, it is actually a number of things inside there. And we have to discern everything out for vipassana to take place. Everything still happen in the present moment. So the being thorough, being precise, is about for the mind to be able to discern all the objects carefully. Now, let's look into that. Let's take a look at a few examples how we are supposed to exercise the discernment factor or that thoroughness or that precision factor of the mind. And this is still basic aspect of vipassana understanding or vipassana practice. If you don't, but the thing is that a lot of people, yogis, when they don't exercise this, you can come in, year out, retreat after retreat, you're not going to go anywhere. So here the discernment factor, for example, when we do, let's talk about the walking meditation. Especially when you come to the third phase walking meditation and you're supposed to go as slow as you can. This time as slow as you can, at the same time when the movement of the leg is happening, when you label it as lifting, pushing, dropping. Here we begin to notice that the movement is not just a single movement. There are various, the motion is also being divided into 3 parts already. This is generally you begin to discern the movement as into parts. Now, in order for you to go further with this, we begin to discern it further in the sense of you begin to notice for example, when you lift up, When you lift up, although when you do the labeling of lifting up, here you further discern whether the lifting up is there any other sensation like pulling, warmness, coldness, and you pay attention to it precisely. Sometimes you may notice more, sometimes you notice not much. Sometimes you notice the movement of the leg going forward, and then it kind of like it kind of like very smooth, but sometimes you may feel some vibration there. When you notice the vibration, you notice it also precisely what is going on. Yeah. Then when you put the leg down, when you step on the floor, that too you have to discern it carefully, whether it's hard, whether it's soft, whether it's this way or that way. Yeah. You want to feel it more. Maybe one of these days, if it's the outside there is warm enough, take off the socks and walk in the cement there. You can feel much more than when you wear the socks. Once in a while, you try it out and see. Sometimes even because in this place is more or less the only place that you wear socks. In other places, when I go for retreat, the yogis don't have to wear socks because it's hot. Unless sometimes it can be rainy once in a while. But other than that, no. So yogis can feel like, for example, even when they discern it further, sometimes the heel, you feel one thing. The toes, you feel something else. Not only the toes, but the big toe and the small toe, sometimes there are different sensations also as they step down and they feel it. Yeah. And the more that you practice, if it takes you some time, you will notice that there are so many objects there, so many sensation is happening in the steps. Not just one thing that what we know, but there are so many things here because the mind it begin to discern what is going on. Yeah. Then we ask ourselves, is this still in the present moment? It is still in the present moment. But the present moment comes with more precision noting, more thorough noting. Yeah. So this is important. Yeah. Make sure you do something like this. Yeah. You will be like, do it for after a few days in this retreat, especially on the third phase, you do it like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so. Yeah. But you cannot do it too much. Because if you do it too much, for example, if it's so important, why don't we just do it for a whole hour? Because if you do it for the whole hour, you're going to end up with a lot of tension. The whole body is going to tense up. So, there are other factors, for example, you need to relax. And you still need for the body to relax. Now, in order for this body to relax, this is where your one phase is important. Yeah. Your one phase. When you do the right step, left step, mentally you label it as right step, left step. Here, some mindfulness is there. Presentness of the mind is also there. But the thing is that when it compared to the third phase, then there is a difference. Although both are also, everything is in the present moment, but The third phase is where the precision comes in, the thoroughness comes in. One phase, you're not so thorough. You're just right step, left step, right step, left step. But it's still important because we still need the relaxed state of body in order for us to do the third phase. If your body is so tense up, then you try to do this third phase, this tension can build up over time. You are not doing this retreat for 1 day or 2 days, then you go back. You got 10 more days to go. And per day you have like 4 to 5 walking meditation. So this type of tension, it can accumulate if you don't do it properly. So don't overdo it. Don't do it at all. Don't do it. So make sure you know the time. So usually about half an hour, even up to 40 minutes is perfect. Yeah. Now, since we are talking about this walking meditation, it will be good that when we do this walking meditation, you see the toilet is quite far away. Yeah. Just for you to go do your business, come back here, 20 minutes already. Or 15 minutes or so. Don't wait until you come back from the toilet only you start doing walking meditation. You're supposed to do your walking meditation whenever you walk. Yeah. You have to learn to extend the walking meditation into every form of walking or every direction of the walking that you're going or you're coming. If you want to go to the toilet, since it's quite far away for a yogi, then this time you already have to start off with your right step, left step, right step, left step, and you go to the toilet with that mindfulness. And then after that, you do your business mindfully. Then after that, you walk back. Right step, left step, right step, left step. You put your sandals there, you can adjust. By the time you come in, you should supposed to start on your lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping. Yeah. If you don't go to the toilet, then fine. But if you need to go, that means you have to extend it out. One phase, right step, left step, right step, left step. You have to make the effort. If you don't make the effort, then there's not much that you're going to go, not much of progress. So you need that relaxed state of body, then do it. Now, even this time of the retreat now, even how you drink water also. Because I know some of you maybe toilet is far away, so you control of your drinking of water. What my recommendation is, my recommendation here, for example, if you able to, like during the walking, when you go to the sitting, if you can hold on for another hour, then from the walking, when you go to the sitting, you don't go to the toilet yet. You straight away you come, after you finish that walking, you come into the sitting. Then you come into the sitting and you sit there. Finish the sitting, then only you go to the toilet. If you can hold. But then also, you got to be careful if you if you don't drink enough water, then what will happen is that sometimes when you get dehydrated, one of the signs of the body is that you're going to get tension, bodily tension coming up. So make sure you drink enough, but you don't drink at one go everything. You stagger it out. You stagger it out so that if you can, for the 2 hours, you do your walking and then you continue into the sitting. Because of that, when there's continuity, it'll be good for development. Yeah. All right. So precision. So even in all other things, like for example, even when you're eating also, yeah, to be mindful is one thing, but to be precise in your biting, chewing, that is another thing. Being precise here, that means that sometimes you may notice the taste arises and the taste kind of like disappear. You may eat something that is maybe spicy and you could feel that strong spiciness in the tongue or in the mouth, it getting burning for a hot. Watch it for a while. Bear up with it for a while. Notice it, then you can see that sometimes it arises, it stays for a while, and then it disappears. Or it fades away. Or sometimes then you can notice not only just chewing, but you can able to see the process is going inside the mouth. Like how the rice or the food is going from the left side to the right side as you begin to chew. And you can notice the sensation that arises, and it not after that when it's strong, maybe salty, maybe sweet, it's strong, it comes up and then it has to disappear. So you notice what is truly going on inside there. Now even you come to the sitting meditation also. When we exercise precision on the stomach area, on the rising and falling of the abdomen, here, when you pay attention, for example, if you take a yogi who just sit there and just rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall, rise and fall, then you ask him or her, what else do you notice? Nothing else. It's just rise and fall, rise and fall. It's not to say it's bad. The mind is still in the present. The mind at least is not running everywhere. But the mind doesn't have the extra value, the extra ingredient, which is the precision of noting. The mind is mindful. If you can start off with that, mindfulness is wonderful, but you should not just stop there. So, take note of that rising and falling, and you notice this rising and falling. You should notice it as whether it's long, short, fast, slow. How is it like it's moving here and there? I think you have a hard time sitting this way, and it's very distracting. For now, during the Dhamma talk, I think you shift it to the back. For now, then you can shift your leg at the back there. If not, it's a bit distracting. Take the cushion. Take the other cushion. Okay, not this one. Behind everybody. Then later you come back again. Now, so when you notice this rising and falling, yeah, you notice it whether it's long, short, fast, slow, whether it's sometimes one is longer and one is shorter, and sometimes it may go sideways. If it goes sideways, you notice as they are, not as uh, what you want it to be. Sometimes this rising and falling, it may feel like as if like it's going round and round. Yeah. Then goes beyond your logic. How could the stomach go round and round? But you notice it, you feel it in that way. So if you notice it in that way, make sure that you don't disturb it. You see them as they are and you see them precisely what is truly going on. Yeah. So sometimes the rising and falling can be quite tight and it's quite unpleasant. If it happens in that way, your job also to make sure you pay attention to it in that way. Not what you want, not what you feel that yes, this rising and falling is supposed to be easy. Yeah. No, you have to see them as it is. And that you exercise the precision of noting. Even the itchiness arises also. If you are just mindful of the itchiness, you just know it's itchy. You just know that it's kind of like, yeah, itchy. But precision of mindfulness, the precision of noting is to notice it as how is the itchiness like? Is it a burning itchiness? Is it a spreading itchiness? Is it a is it a multiple itchiness or is it a something there? Or is it what is going on there? Yeah. So when you come to report your meditation experiences, you have to describe them. Don't tell me, Bhante, I noticed this itchiness. I'm not going to let you go, like that. And make sure that you know what you are actually noticing. You have to explain it carefully. You have to explain it thoroughly. That means you have to pay attention to your object carefully. Yeah. So this is what it meant by being thorough. Now, every other daily activities. For example, when you open a door, you can also once in a while exercise thoroughness in that opening the door. It doesn't have to be throughout the whole process of opening, but perhaps that is just for a short period of time. Maybe an extra few seconds. For example, you hold the handle. Then you walk, and then you come to your door, you hold the handle. Learn to feel the handle first. First, you notice it whether it's hard or soft, whether it's warm or cold. Then you make an effort to push. You're fully alert, fully aware of the whole movement of the handle. And then after that, you slowly push. Feel the sensation, feel the movement of the arms. Then after that, when you want to close, you want to do it slightly faster, then by all means you carry on. So for a short period of time, you exercise that thoroughness. Or even you want to wear your sandals, or your shoes, do it slower, notice it, and wear it carefully, slowly, and learn to feel the sensation here and there. After that, when everything is ready, then right step, left step, right step, left step. Yeah. So it's all about you making the effort. Then only you begin to go into the vipassana a little bit more. Hmm? Now, this way of how it discerns, because this part is crucial for beginner yogis. If you miss out this part, it's going to be difficult for you to progress in this vipassana. But once you know how to do it, all you need to do is make sure that you make the effort to do it again and again, again and again, because the discerning factor is going to go deeper, further, and even you begin to notice things, objects changing faster than before. It's already happening in this body and mind. It's just that due to our ignorance, due to our delusion or moha here, in the Pali word, then we don't see them as it is. We only think what they are. But when you actually pay attention to them, so many things are changing inside this body. So it's for you to pay attention to them. So therefore, the precision noticing is to begin to slowly begin to penetrate into the true nature of this mind and body. So this is one thing that you should exercise them as much as possible. Now, there's another way of how we also discern our actions. Here, we also have to exercise noticing the intentions. Noticing the wish to do something. That means here is the part of the mind right now. And how the mind is conditioning the body. Now, during in basic instruction, the first day, I mentioned about before you start walking, what you should do. You notice the intention to walk, intention to walk. Then only you start walking. No? Noticing this intention, whenever you start the walking process, then it is always good to notice the intention. Sometimes when you reach towards the end of the walking, before you're going to stand, sometimes there is 2 or 3 steps before that, or 3 or 4 steps before you come to the end, the mind already aware of it, that it's going to stand after that, end of the walk. So sometimes it just come in as a statement, a mental statement. Oh, I'm going to stand there. I'm going to stop there already. But the leg is still moving. Then only after a few steps, then actually it comes to a stop. So if you're able to notice that, then also we begin to notice the nature of the intention. So sometimes if you want to turn from that spot, before you just turn, you notice the intention first. Intention to turn, intention to turn. Make it 2 or 3 times of mental labeling there. Then only you start turning. This is one thing. Also, you can also extend noticing this intention to all other activities that you are doing too. Now, for example, you want to get up from your cushion or you want to sit down onto your cushion. So before you get up, don't straight away you get up. Just notice it, intention to get up, intention to get up. Then only you slowly lift up the body. Slowly you lift up the body. When you want to sit down also, while you're standing there, your cushion is in front of you or beside you, then you notice the intention to sit, then only you slowly bring the body down. Or once in a while, not once in, no, sorry. Even when you're in a dining hall, also the same thing. You're sitting on the stool, you're getting up from the stool. Don't just rush of from getting up. You just notice the intention first, then only you slowly pull the body up, or slowly bring the body down onto the chair, onto the stool. Once in a while, if you could able to do, like, for example, you want to open the door. You want to open the door, you take notice of the intention first. Right? Take notice of intention, then only you slowly you push and feel the sensation, the pressure, and so on, or the handle, or the warmness or coldness of the handle as you push, as you open. So here is not just only the physical aspect, but also right now we go into the mental aspect of it. Now, basically, on the principle, when we try to notice the intention, is whenever we change our major postures. Yeah? What are the major postures that we have? In Buddhism, we have these 4 major postures. And what are they? You have walking, you have standing, you have sitting down, and you have lying down. Not sleeping, lying down. Sleeping is another thing. Lying down. Here, we exercise the first 3. The 4th one, again, I don't trust you. You know. The lying down aspect, I don't trust you. Because you're not going to do mindfulness in the lying down position. So the first 3, here, while we we have these 4 postures. Whenever we change from one posture to another, later tonight, when you reach to your bed and you're ready to lie down, before you lie down as usual, take note of that intention first. Intention to lie down, intention to lie down. Then only you slowly shift the body down onto the mattress, onto the bed. So too when tomorrow morning you want to get up, then you notice the intention first before you get up. Once in a while, you don't have to do it all the time, but once in a while, for example, you want to stretch out your hands, taking a tumbler, or you're reaching out for your mug or for your cups, then what it would be good also. Then once in a while you notice the intention to stretch, or just knowing that intention to do, intention to stretch, then stretch the arms. Therefore, when you do that, actually all your physical actions, it starts going to slow down even further. But the thing is that what is good with this immediate effect for the yogis, the immediate effect for the yogis is that whenever you notice that intention, the follow through, when you follow through the actions of your hands, that is stretching or pulling, most of the time it will come with mindfulness. Most of the time the following actions will come with mindfulness. You try to notice and see tomorrow that you want to get up from the cushion or you want to sit down. When you deliberately taking note of that intention, and before you start to sit down, you find that you begin to aware of that process of from the beginning and then slowly until it goes to the sitting down. Automatically, the mindfulness will follow through. Other words, it helps you to have a continuity of mindfulness. It helps you to have that continuity of mindfulness even for a short period of time. That short period of time. But if you do it, you duplicate it to all other small little activities, then your mindfulness will start coming in throughout the day. Then it will be very helpful for the progress of this vipassana. So take note of your intentions. Do it throughout the day, here and there. You don't have to do it all the time. While you're walking, right step, left step, while the body is actually moving, you don't have to do it. In between there. Or you need to do it in the beginning. Especially this is for beginners or in the first few days of the retreat. It is very helpful. So this is on the beginner part of noticing the intention and its follow through. But the nature of this intention, it does not stop here. It does not stop just intention and a hand stretched forward like that. No, it goes even further. Further in the sense that when your progress takes place, even the movement of your arms, a simple movement of an arm, then here is only just one movement, but there you begin to notice that there are so many movements that's taking place, and each movement, each tiny movement, is preceded by intentions. It's a simple movement of an arm here. Every small little movement that is going through is all the mind that is following together with it. Then only you realize how much mind and body, they are all interrelated. Right now, it's very hard for us to see. Why? Because the mind is not developed. The mindfulness is not there. The penetration of the mind is not there. Now, we ask ourselves, who is moving the arm here? I am moving the arm. Who else? Who is listening to the talk here? I am listening to the talk. But when the process of the intention, it becomes so many different parts, then that time, who is moving the arm? Nobody is moving the arm. The arm arises because the mind is there. The movement of the arms arises because the mind is there. If there's no mind, there's no movement. So with that, slowly and slowly, the self, atta, the self will slowly begin to break down. And that is where you begin to see or begin to realize there is such a thing as non-self. There's such a thing as non-self. That every movement that you're going to take, there's nobody involved. There's only mental process that give rise to that particular actions. I can talk about this non-self till the kingdom comes. And yet you will not understand it. Again, here, non-self is something that you have to experience. It's not something that you can think and think about it. Because no matter how much you think about it, you are thinking from the perspective of a self. Yeah. You're always seeing from a perspective of a self. It's just like telling you, if you have never tasted apple before, and somebody were to tell you, they describe to you the taste of an apple. This is impossible. It has to be tasted. You have to taste it. So too, non-self, it has to be fully experienced. Then only you realize. And to experience those things is you begin to notice all this intention and so on. Yeah. So it can go very deep, not not just not just forcing you to do this and that. Yeah. You know, your no some no, this is not Malaysia. Because in Malaysia at one time, you know, when I talk about this intention, the one of the yogi put up the hand. Bhante, why so 麻烦 one are you? You know what is 麻烦? 麻烦 means what? Huh? Very troublesome. Very. Oh no, why? You want to get up? Get up. Want to sit down? Sit down. Want to move? Move. Why so difficult? Have to notice the intention to get up and sit down. This is exactly when we have a lot of delusion, when we are in a world of delusion, this is how we think. But when we start to make an effort according to what the Buddha taught us, now that is difficult to do. Yeah? But if you're persistent with it, the result, the benefit will be there. So make sure you try to exercise as much to notice your intention. Yeah? It will definitely help you. Later part, as you progress, sometimes you'll begin to notice also, without the intention, the body will not move. Yeah? For example, when you want to walk, if the thoughts does not arise, if that intention does not arise, you will just stand there until the intention is being made. Then only the leg starts walking. Yeah. And with this, sometimes the yogi felt that something wrong is with me. Before that, I can walk as I like. Now, I have to make the intention. Then only I walk. There's something wrong. It's not something wrong. It's just you have not seen it before. It's just that you have not seen it before. It is different from our ordinary everyday experience. This experience, it comes in with mindfulness, with clarity. And when you go into Vipassana further into it, there's a lot of experience. It's going to be very new. Although I use the word new, but when you experience it, it felt very weird. It felt very different from your everyday experiences. So one of it is on the intention. Many more for you to discover. Yeah, tomorrow we'll talk about it a little bit more. Not on intention, but also on discerning part of it. In order for us to go into the practice a little bit more than what we are doing right now. Okay, so we stop here for tonight. Only today I clear my jet lag. Yesterday, when I was giving a talk, I was half asleep. Today, I felt much more brighter. Anyway, okay, we share merits, huh? Yeah. Yes.